Okay, if you're interested at all in watching the video that's about to follow, an explanation you need to know. I thought about titling it something like Houston, we got a problem, or what does it look like to abort, 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 when an aircraft is landing on an aircraft carrier and they miss the wires, the trap wires, the arresting wires, cables. They call it a bolter, and you hear people yell, bolter, bolter, and the guy's supposed to hit full power and roar off the front. We're at Cedar Point Campground, which is at Cape Carteret, North Carolina, right on the coast at the very southern tip of the Outer Banks. Cape Lookout National Seashore is about an hour's drive northeast from here, and we came down ostensibly to try again to paddle from Shell Point on Harker's Island to the Cape Lookout Lighthouse, have lunch there, paddle back. Yesterday we went out, we put the boats in the water in Back Sound, which is near Shell Point. We were on the last 2 hours of a small craft advisory. I wanted to go get the boats wet. We never went more than maybe 50 yards offshore. Bounced around the waves. It was real lively. But we got a feel for it. Today's weather forecast was better. So the alarm went off this morning at 6 a.m. We jumped up, grabbed a biscuit, made a cup of coffee, hit the road, headed to Shell Point. We got there and looked out, and from Shell Point going south towards Shackleford Banks, I may have to overlay a map to show you. Back Sound, which is the body of water between Harker's Island and Shackleford Banks, looked beautiful, just small ripples. Wasn't a whole lot of wind, but the wind was coming from the northeast, so it was deceptive. We didn't feel all the wind. And the direction is important, that we'll get to in a minute. So we loaded up. We pulled the boats off. We got lunch together, the stoves, the water, all that sort of stuff. We got ready and we launched. Like, it's do or die. Let's do it. From where we launched over to Shackleford Banks is about 2 miles, a little over 2 miles. Then you skirt to the northeast around Shackleford Banks, and you hit the point where Back Sound and Core Sound come together, and you're out in open bodies of water, probably, a mile of water on either side. And then you've got to diagonally shoot across Core Sound down towards what's called the Cape Lookout Bight. That's this curved horseshoe area of water where the Atlantic Ocean pushes a channel in or rushes a channel out, and it's a real strange mixing zone of currents. So things look good, we thought. And what you're going to see is some footage of Judy and I after we launched, headed out. Maybe 3/4 of a mile, maybe closer to a mile offshore. I don't know exactly how far. We got to one sea buoy. We were on our way to Bird Island, which is an island they keep excavating and dredging and sustaining the island. It keeps washing away. And at that point, we hit the point where we had moved east enough on Back Sound to be out of the shelter of Harker's Island. And that's when we discovered what a 15-knot wind out of the northeast with an outgoing tide meant. We were out of the protected area, and all of a sudden, like a freight train, we were in 2 to 3 foot waves, going with the waves, the wind blowing us that way, and the wind was roaring down 15 miles of Core Sound at 15 knots or so, gusting to about 18. It was supposed to have died down. It didn't. The weather report was off. And at that point, it suddenly occurred to me that we're moving 5 miles, 6 miles, 7 miles an hour over water, hardly paddling, except to just keep ourselves upright. It's real lively. It's real energetic. But with like this massive fear-inducing thing, we've got to turn around and go back the other way. We need to find out right now what it's like to go into this wind and into these waves in case the weather, when the tide changes, doesn't calm down. So I turned to Judy and said, we got to do a real gradual turn. And it was as we started doing the turn, we got quartering to the wind, sideways to the wind and the waves, then quartering into them. I realized we're about a mile offshore and we are just about over our heads condition wise. Yeah, of course we're going back. We're scrubbed, but we're scrubbed knowing, I hope we've learned something. We've got to get back to land and not drown in 62-degree water, or go in and have hypothermia and have to call the Coast Guard on Channel 16, the whole 9-yard catastrophe. Long story short, we had a great day on Cape Lookout. We took the ferry over, we hiked some, we cooked lunch right by the Cape Lookout lighthouse. Had a wonderful time. We didn't paddle there. Cape Lookout National Seashore is just, it's a goal, it's a bucket list type thing, and it keeps stymieing me. And I've never, ever seen a place, been to a place where weather conditions, currents, tides can be this crazy this many times. This, I thought, third time's the charm. We're gonna make it. But we didn't, again. Okay, I'm stern heavy with all that water. Okay, finally. Cape Lookout. Third time is a charm.
I'm talking, but I can't hear you.
I'm just talking to myself.
Okay.
You know, you really kill my editing.
I'm sorry.
No, you aren't.
You're right. I'm really not.
I know. I'll hang out, wait on you. With me. Cape Lookout Lighthouse, here we come.
Huh?
Cape Lookout Lighthouse, here we come. Quit saying hi when I'm talking to the video. Jeez.
I thought you were talking to me.
Yeah. Okay,
To the rock.
that pile of rocks, we got a buoy right in front of us, right? You see the buoy? Pile of rocks is to the left of it, beyond it.
I don't see the buoy.
It's right there in front of you.
Oh, yeah, okay, that one.
We're headed between those two. We're gonna skirt to the right of those rocks, but we may have to keep our bow pointed towards the left some because of wind.
Okay.
So we're just gonna treat them like waypoints. We're not gonna just take off straight across to Shackleford yet.
Okay.
Let's get to that like big rubble pile, whatever that is, and let's see what the current and the wind are doing to us. I mean, essentially we're headed straight for the lighthouse, but we got to go all the way the long way around. So what time is it? 8:45 and we are on the water. Put your skeg down. We want as much tracking as we can get.
Put it down?
Yes, oh yeah. We don't want to like flounce around out here. It'll make a big difference with the wind. You notice the wind is coming from the northeast, so it's quartering on our side and stern. And that's just, you know, it'll make for a lively ride, but there ain't a whole hell of a lot we can do about it. And if the current going out, you notice it's already pushed us to the buoy, we'll just have to keep compensating. Then again, if you notice how fast we're already moving, yeah, well, until 1 p.m. it's a one-way trip.
What?
Until 1 p.m. it's a one-way trip.
You said 8:40, right?
Yeah, 8:40, 8:45. I wasn't paying attention that much to my watch. I was keeping my eyes up. And just keep your eyes peeled for boats or for waves, or, you know, you see a big wave coming, turn into it. Turn a little closer into the sun now. Our drift is taking us to the right, which isn't bad. Shackleford is over that way, so the current and the wind are not going to take us out. Don't, you're going to get that. God, you know, if you were going upwind or something and there was going to be a hazard right there, you got to pay attention. I mean, you do shit like that and I want to turn around. I need you to think, okay? I'm not trying to yell at you, but you know, we're out here, it's the real deal now. So can you get your head straight? Please? I'm looking for a response.
Yes.
Thank you. Okay, don't shrink up and say fuck you, I'm not gonna talk to you, okay? You may have to just work to keep your paddle in the water like a rudder with this quartering surfing sea. I don't paddle much more. I want to try something first. Gradually watch the waves. I want us to turn towards the sun and turn back around into the wind. I want to see what it's going to be like if we have to turn around, okay? Just watch your boat and stay on it. Notice I'm just gradually turning this way. Paddle into it to me. Paddle to me. I need you to come to me. Where you at? See the buoy in front of you?
What?
The buoy in front of you.
Okay.
Aim for it, we're headed in. Alright? I don't want to, now that we're out here and the wind's coming down here, we're fine when we were over there, but I need you to angle sort of to the left of the buoy a little bit. Just watch these waves, because we're out here and now the wind's coming all the way down the sound. Kind of stay on top of things until we get, you know, a little beyond the breakwater, and we can maybe speed up a little bit then, but we're all right. I mean, we're making headway. The difference in this chop from beyond the buoy when we were inside the headland and out here is about a foot or 18 inches higher. I just didn't see this coming, so we'll get a little adventure here and then we'll find some place to kind of, you know, just mess around. Stay close enough that I can see you too, okay? Stay close enough that I can see you. You're not going to crowd me. Well, we know one thing.
What?
We can paddle against the tide, but it is not a whole lot of fun. We're not going anywhere near as fast as we were the other way. I suspect we were doing 5 miles an hour at least. You know what? This is increasing too.
What?
This is getting bigger now. The sun's up, the air's warming, the wind's picking up. I think the calm we were seeing is just the dawn, you know? Oh well. The wind's starting to die down. We got the headland in front of us now. Well, sort of. Well, we tried. We have a couple of options.
What?
We have a couple of options. I'll wait till you paddle up. Go back and we could get into the river, or we can load up, change, go over to the visitor center and see when the ferry's gonna run, take the one backpack, and we could go to the lighthouse and have lunch anyway.
Yeah, we could do that.
Check your skeg before you get too far in there.
I already know.
Okay. Well, so much for that trip. That was a quick 30-minute trip. Floating again. You're free floating.
Yeah. It had hit, and then when I pushed back, it went back a little bit.
So am I. Well, we're going to take the ferry out to the lighthouse, because if you look out just beyond this little harbor, there's a northeast wind blowing at 15 knots. The tide is going out and it's full rip right now, and there are 2-foot whitecaps out there. We launched and got out behind the headland and got about 3/4 of a mile offshore and hit that and said, nope, we're going to take a wide turn around and we're going to come back. So better to live and try it another day. This place just keeps skunking me. So, but we get to see the lighthouse anyway. Way down in the distance there is where we were headed and are going.